Now, last week I announced that I, along with my photojournalist Chris Chavez, have been nominated for an Emmy Award for a story that showcased the Quechan community. Now, the Quechan language is one of many native languages on the brink of extinction. But today, their language preservation program is going strong, so I want to take this moment to revisit that story and show you the people involved in making this happen.
Just over the iconic ocean-to-ocean bridge, a tribe with a deep history. The BBC reports 25 world languages die each year. Quechan is one of 74 languages across the nation on the brink of extinction. In this crucial time, tribal members are determined to reverse this trend.
Growing up in the home that I grew up in was a Christian home, and we didn't speak that language. My mother didn't speak. My grandmother does. However, she speaks what she would call slang, so she doesn't feel as though it's the proper way to speak the language.
And a lot of tribe members feel the same way. Less than 100 people currently speak fluent Quechan, so now they are focusing on the next generation of speakers.
I learned a long time ago that when you're small, you're the sponge. You can learn anything.
When I get older, I know they're not going to be here to stand at my shoulder the whole time. So I want to learn all the songs so I can pass it on if I have kids and pass it on to them so they can keep passing it.
The goal to get there is trying to find enough people who do have knowledge of the language and also who has experience with teaching, right?
Yes. Not necessarily teaching, but just a willingness to share. I think right now all members of that were teachers of our language program are either in their late 70s or early 80s. So they're kind of in that retirement age where, to pull an 8-hour day and then to work with 20 or 30 young people is a little taxing.
A big part of learning the language goes beyond the classroom, learning by fully immersing themselves in the culture. Jesse Escalante teaches through singing and dancing.
A variety of stories that happen. That's what they sing about. It's just different things that happen. They've seen it, they sang about it. And the middle part is always the important part because sometimes it changes. Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's different, but they have a meaning behind that as well. There's words in there that will tell you a story. This one, he manquil manu guimana, he manquil ma waru guimana, he manquil mana, manquil mana. Continue like that till you end.
But learning the language starts in the classroom. And for Pamela Manchada, she uses techniques that a lot of students can relate to.
So I try to use, in my phonetic spelling, a lot of English sounds to get as close as possible to the language. And then we try to do the correction or, well, not necessarily correction, but the modification of showing them in the classroom how their mouth should move, the sounds that they should be making. Like TS would be t, or bosh, that little whistle and that tongue in the closed mouth. They may not be able to have the conversation of asking, what is this? But they'll say, gewitz, and show me a paper. And so we'll talk about that. So they're using the words that they know as much as they can, and they're very comfortable doing it here because we reinforce all of that.
So even as the world around us continues to modernize, keeping tradition alive remains a hope that the Quechans are optimistic will happen.
We're building new elders. Everybody's going to grow old, unfortunately, and I feel like I'm going to live forever, but I'm going to be an elder at some point in my life, and I would like to be able to know that I've learned that and I can take that with me and I can give back by learning my language and being able to give it back to our kids. The kids is the biggest aspect of our tribe and keeping our tribe strong.
Throughout history, they faced battles of preservation and came out of them victorious, and they hope to do the same with their language.
We've been able to fight battles for preservation of our natural resources, of our cultural resources, against business proposals that would have been detrimental to some of our cultural resources out in the desert. We are now on a 50,000 plus acre reservation, which we weren't. This whole area was our ancestral grounds. So there's all kind of natural resources out in the desert that we still hope to preserve. And a lot of that comes through language. That knowledge and that language history, it defines us as a people. You know, there isn't anything different about us being American other than our language. Other than our melanin and skin tone or whatever, that doesn't make the difference. The difference is our language. So if we preserve that, we preserve ourselves.
Gabe Salazar, News Shahok Amai Ashinth.